The Royal Palace Museum is housed in the former residence of the royal family and features the French Asiatic architectural style typical of buildings in Luang Prabang. Tours begin at the entry hall of the main doorway, the protocol room, and proceed in a counterclockwise fashion. This diagram shows the layout of the palace, which is divided, in cruciform fashion, into two wings, linked by a central hall that contains the throne room. The rectangular front wing was devoted to official duties, and the square-shaped rear wing was the residence of the royal family. The halls lining both wings are now filled with memorabilia of the history of Luang Prabang and mementos of the royal family. The large room to the right of the protocol room was where the king received diplomats and guests. The first photo shows the entrance to the reception area from the protocol room and highlights the gold-lacquered scenes from the Ramayana. The second photo shows the divans on which the diplomats sat. The walls of the room are covered with the canvases that portray life in old Luang Prabang. They were painted in the 1930s by French artist Alex de Fautereux and are intended to be viewed at different hours of the day. The outside light reputedly illuminates the panels depicting the corresponding time of day. In the right front corner of the palace, which opens to the outside, is a collection of the palace's most prized art, including the Phra Bang, which is cast in gold, silver, and bronze alloy. The hall connecting this wing to the central throne room features a collection of bronze rain drums. The main throne room was used by the last monarch, King Sisavangvatthana, and his throne is shown here. A smaller throne room to the side was used by his predecessors. All the walls in this room are decorated with colorful mosaics depicting Lao folk tales, customs, ceremonies, and wars. These mosaics, made from Japanese glass and lacquer, were produced by Laotian craftsmen between 1963 and 1967. You also find ceremonial relics and Buddha icons here. The tour next proceeds to the left wing of the private quarters. The corridors surrounding the rooms are decorated with 16 pictures illustrating the legend of the 10 wishes of Prince Wetsantara, considered an important epic by Lao Buddhists. The first room is the library, which contains the official archives of the Ming and Qing dynasties, a gift from China during the Cultural Revolution. Next is the Queen's bedchamber. Dominating the rear of the private quarters is King Sisavangvang's bedchamber, shown here. It features a larger-than-life portrait of the king, as well as a massive hardwood bed. Its headboard contains the king's initials and a carved Buddha sheltered by a 17-headed Naga. The footboard bears a rendition of the royal emblem of Laos, this time with a 2-tiered parasol, the additional tier noting the king's importance. Continuing down the right side of the rear wing is the children's room, which now contains an exhibition of Ramayanas, and the royal dining room, pictured here. The tour now passes through the left side of the throne room and back into the diplomatic wing. The first room, the room beyond the green curtains in this photo, is the Queen's reception room, where she met and entertained guests. The longest wall boasts 3 royal portraits. One features King Sisavangvatthana, painted by the famous Russian artist Ilya Glazunov. On the right wall is Queen Kanfui, while on the left wall is their son, the Crown Prince, Vang Savang. Each employs the technique devised by Leonardo da Vinci, as the eyes follow the visitors about the room. The room in the foreground of the photo is the diplomatic gifts room, which features paintings and busts of the royal family that probably only survived the fall of the regime because they were made by a Soviet artist. Gifts from nations around the world line the display cases.